Dear students, hi everyone. Very good evening to all of you. I am R. Vivekanandan. So this is our metal casting 4th class. In the earlier 3 classes, my students, we have discussed a lot on the topic of metal casting, the basics. Okay, basics has been dealt really well enough, I would say. So this is going to help the students with respect to the HPCL preparation as well for the examinations, upcoming examinations. So two ways are there to prepare for any aspirant here. One is just going with the previous year questions practice, and this is only helpful for the students who have already having the basic knowledge. Okay, already have the basic knowledge on the concepts. The other way one can prepare here is make themselves well equipped with the basic knowledge on the subjects, then they direct themselves into the practice session through the previous year questions. So we have this confusion. We are doing the session for the first time maybe. Okay, we would be into this category. Okay, of first time ever examinations to be attempted by us, and we have the mindset, hey, let me look at what the others are doing, and we look at them and say, hey, this guy is preparing all the previous year questions of HPCL, so I also have to follow the same like him. And we will mug up few answers, we try to mug up few concepts, we try the trial and error method, and we end up at one point, frustrations. And we say, hey, GATE exams or any HPCL exams or any competitive examinations are not easy to crack, and this is the mindset any student will be carrying. So students, please understand, you are into the second level. I will not say you should. The first person whom you are looked at who is preparing the previous year questions are doing wrong. They are well equipped with the basic knowledge so that they are into the previous year question level. Understand this for whoever is watching this and recorded. That is the most important thing. So this is all about the Let's Crack It ME channel. I'm the verified GATE Educator Unacademy. Okay, giving you this useful tips because of this important point. Okay, there is some misalignment. I'll just recorrect it. The GATE and ESE top educator with a 9 years of teaching experience and cracked GATE exam 3 times, plus verified educator I am, and cleared IBPS, AFCAT, TRB Polytechnic examinations as well. So this is all into the technical side, our own core area, and this is also the technical side, alright. And these two is all out of my interest and the love towards the subject. So I wish my students to give a message here, leave a message that encourages me to discuss things far better. Yes, students, looking to hear from you all. Please share your opinions. Okay, so people who have joined the session, just make a note of it. I'm talking about the next. Students, about the plus and iconic subscriptions, I wish you all to understand what is it, sir. What is it, sir? Sir, Unacademy is not just a YouTube channel. It's an Unacademy is a app that is available for the students to download from the Play Store, and they can watch the not the free version alone, but also the subscription versions. The subscription version is where you will be getting the complete notes in the structured way. So the complete course will be in a structured order, and it's all our live classes. People, there is a confusion happening. There is something called as online classes. Okay, you have to understand that online and offline are the two categories. Offline is where you go to an academy and you prepare. Online also there are two things. One is live classes, the other one is recorded in the server that you can watch, just like in the YouTube. After some time the same class gets recorded, right? You can watch it, no? So these are the information. So please don't fall prey to this word as online classes. These are live classes here. So it's an important word I want to convey here to you, that live classes are different from online classes alone. So live is something default online and it's live. So it's a structured course you can watch with unlimited access, with weekly test, and notes will also be available for you of the educator what they write in the session. and also the virtual notes. It is already uploaded into your app. So this is the plus subscription. Talking about the iconic subscription, along with the plus, you get the further benefits like personal guidance, study planner. So you get a customized study planner in the with the bi-weekly reviews. Let me present to you what it means further. Okay, I'll just let you know. And also the test analysis part. So when you attempt a test, you will be given a guidance from the top exam experts on how you should have approached the questions and where you have made the mistake. So it is not that you are alone there in your preparations. One more person will be accompanying you, who is your mentor here. Okay, so I am an educator who can speak in English and Tamil. I can understand Hindi also. So this is to your information. I want to convey the same. Please make a note of it. And so I'll be teaching the subjects on manufacturing to etc. Okay, manufacturing to IUR and general aptitude etc. are the topics I will be discussing with you all. Okay, so in this session we will be also covering up the concepts of solidification and cooling, which is our fourth session. Students, look at this. For the plus subscriptions, this is the fees available. When you use my code VivekGate20, you will get a timely discount. Right now it is a maximum of 10%. Okay, a maximum of 10% discount will be available. I am handling lot of special classes right from the upcoming weeks. I'll be handling lot of special classes also. So if you want to get convinced about should I join this app in the paid model to get the best content, how it works, please do join there. Okay, you get my profile in the description box, definitely. Okay, it is available for you. So you can click on my profile link, and there is the Vision Gate 2024 batches also starting up. So you can follow me using that @VivekGate20, follow unacademy.com followed by @unacademy.com followed by @VivekGate20. You can follow me, the same code. Okay, you can follow my classes and understand how it works, the platform, and there is a difference of prices for the iconic subscriptions. So you can also pay it in EMI as well. Okay, so this is what we call as Padho, Khelo Crack, Karo. Okay, learn with the top educators from July 1 to 30 for all the mechanical engineering students. Concept based learning for each subject. So take a quiz and check your preparation also. So it's not just the content you have to make notes alone. No, you also can take quiz and check your preparations, and if you top the leaderboard and get featured on the YouTube channel, enroll now. The link is available for you. The heading wise it is given there. Okay, click on the link to enroll. You can use the code VivekGate20 over there. Just remember this. These are the difference in features for a plus and iconic. So top educators, you can watch, both the people can watch. Doubt clearing and raise a hand option. So raise a hand will be an icon like this in your app. When you click on it, it is like you give a request to the educator to invite you to talk with him live. Talk live to clarify your doubts. Talk to clarify your doubts. Okay, that feature is available for both. Ask a doubt feature is where you take a photo of the concepts or the questions where you got stuck. Once you upload the question, you will be given an answer from the team, okay, on the ask a doubt features. And special doubt clearing classes will be available for both the people if you take a plus or iconic subscriptions. Talking about study notes, you can see here both what are they. Study notes is where the notes that we upload will be available for you, and virtual notes will be also there. Test series is available for both, but the physical notes is exclusively for the iconic subscribers, followed by live mentorship program one-on-one, and strategy and study programs will be there exclusively for you guys and the iconic subscription, and audio interactions with the open house. So this is a iconic subscription discount amount. If you use my code VivekGate20, you will get a 10% offer on this. Also you get a 4 months of free enrollment. So if you subscribe for 6 months of a duration of subscription, you get an extension for 1 month free. Similar to that, in the scale you can get it. Okay, so these are the offers that I have to convey here. So what you pay will be here and what you save is available. It's really a worth for your money, I can guarantee. So these are the batches. Lakshya batch for the 2023 with the bilingual classes, starting today with from Gaurav Babu sir. Okay, so he's here, and myself Vivekanandan, and behind me there is Satyamurthy sir. We'll be handling the classes in English, and students, I can understand Hindi, so you can connect with me as well. But I can speak Tamil well, so you can also connect here. So it's the same for the Pragati batch for 2024 as well, being a bilingual. So just make a note of it. All the top educators are here. Okay, so let's move on to the subject here, talking about the solidification and cooling. Students, all my notes are available in the Unacademy platform. Just make a note of it. Messages are mostly welcomed by me to see your interactions, because the platform goes so healthy because of the interactions from the educators and students. Okay, so when we talk about solidification, the first thing that comes to our mind is chills and paddings. Before we go into that, deeper concepts, chills and paddings are the first and foremost point that comes to. What is the use of chills and paddings? It helps in directing the rate of cooling, helps in unidirectional solidification. That is a keyword, correct? But how they both are differing, we know in the first class we have discussed it. So any student watching this class wants the basic of chills and padding, I have done in the previous classes. You can search in that metal casting part 1 Vivekanandan. Okay, part 1 Vivekanandan. With these names you can easily pick up my content and watch those. So talking about the solidification, okay, talking about the solidification, we should start with the basics of the metallurgy here and bring in the HMT concept also. Okay, bring in the HMT concept also. So listen to this. So solidification is where the rate of cooling matters. Solidification is where the rate of cooling matters. Please make a note. Correct? So guys, my dear students, please text here. So people think direct discussion to the subject is important. No, if you present it in this manner, you will learn so good. Okay, we call them as cooling curve. So ideology here is a prerequisite on metallurgy might be important. So I will teach you what it is here directly. So students, this is the curve. For a cooling curve of a pure metal, isn't it? Next one is cooling curve of a binary solid solution. And the third one is our binary technique system. Okay, binary eutectic systems. Please make a note. Okay. So here, cooling curve we are talking about, the cooling curve of a pure metals. Pure metal binary solid solution. And binary eutectic system. Binary eutectic system. So we know that a material which is in the liquid state, when it reaches the freezing point, this is your temperature, and we know this is the time. That's how the cooling curve is being discussed, correct? Temperature, time, temperature and time. I look into the chat boxes also every time. So if you find any kind of a discussion needed, do let me know. So here I'll be handling series of classes. Please make a note. This is your freezing point. So the material start to become solidified, solid. Just the fraction starts to show up. So this is where the liquid will be there, and this is where it pops out. Few of the materials will pop out. Okay, few of the material will pop out, and the remaining will be liquid. So here this is solid, and this is liquid. This is completely liquid. So this is the region where we get both liquid plus solid here. Okay, liquid plus solid here. Please make a note of it. And followed by this is completely solid you get at this region. Okay, completely solid at that region. So this is to the room temperature we are talking about. Room temperature. Okay, room temperature. Please make a note. So we need to understand that the total solidification time will be from here, from the moment you pour in to the room temperature. Okay, this is the total solidification time. These are important 1 marks, so please understand. Solidification time. This is something important here. The temporary, okay, the localized one we are talking about here. Students, the total solidification time, and for all your information, I will be available at the same time between this 7 to 8 every day in YouTube. So please make a note of them. Okay, and I look at the messages often, so please chat, give your chat. Is there anything to convey, please share it in your chat boxes as well. Okay, a lot of students are joining and welcoming you all. Good evening, guys. So this region we call it as latent heat of fusion. Some might be wondering, sir, talking about a metal casting, these points are very important. We thought of going with a direct Chauvin's rule. No, sir. My shortcuts will help you the best way. I am here to give you the shortcut also, but please remember, not only the shortcuts, but also the concepts are important before. Friends, if you all are there, I would like to ask a question. What is mean by latent heat of fusion? We know, right? What is mean by latent heat of fusion? The amount of heat absorbed or released during the phase change of the substance. Correct? The amount of heat either absorbed or released during the phase change of the substance. Okay, I don't know if it is going to cross my substance. Okay, I'll light it here. So you can see the horizontal line. Why? Sir, there is a changing phase from liquid to solid, but the line remains horizontal. Something really interesting, no? Why it is a horizontal line? This latent heat of fusion, when the liquid start to become solid, the amount of energy it has consumed to make it into a liquid material now starts to be liberated. Now it will be like latent heat of fusion. I am going to liberate all the heat that I have to become a solid. Okay, that is the topic that we are considering here. Latent heat of fusion. So when that heat is being keep on liberated, the temperature is maintained. समझ में आया ना sir? Hope it is clear. Right? So this is what we call it as the latent heat of fusion. It's all about the kilojoules. It's all about the heat. Okay. So this is one. So from here it becomes completely solid at the room temperature. Becomes completely solid. Similarly here we talk about not just one metal, but here it is solid solution. Otherwise we call it as an alloy. Okay, otherwise we call it as an alloy, isn't it? So what we do here, there will be the liquid form of two elements which are in liquid state. Okay, this is your solid state. Because of it's a binary solid solutions, we can write it as S, and within bracket we can write S1 plus S2, which means they are homogeneous. They are going to mix up in liquid state as well as in solid state. That is the meaning of it. So now these two are available. Okay, to this extent one has to prepare. A student from a Tamil Nadu or any other states, we know that generally with the numerical aspects of castings are not much discussed. That is the major problem for a student to appear in a GATE exam or any competitive exams, correct? But I am here to help you with that, guys. Teaching you now. Currently, I am handling the metal joining operations. Tomorrow it's my arc welding class. Gas welding just got completed. I took 2.5 hours for that subject on gas welding alone. Okay, but in the college days, it will be 9 hours only for welding on a whole. But I'm handling gas welding alone for 2 hours. Basic terminologies and extra for another 2 hours. So I've done with 4 to 5 hours of classes on those. Now I'm moving into the arc welding class. But also I've completed one practice session just for gas welding and the basics. So please make a note of the importance. It's not just about learning. You have to apply it into the examination as well. So I give you the practice session as well. So between these two liquids and solids, what actually happens here is, students, what actually happens here is, there are two elements. Say consider liquid 1 is of high temperature, high melting point. This is of low melting point. Okay, L2. So when the freezing temperature, this is a point where a material's freezing temperature is obtained. Okay, higher freezing temperature means which element will be cooling first? It's an open question to all of you. Can you please discuss? I appreciate you guys if you can give out an answer here. Glad to hear from you all. If you can do that, I am really glad to know. No messages. So always we have to understand that the higher the melting point element will be cooling first. Higher melting point element cools first. Logic is correct, right? Why, sir? Because, say for an example, let us take it to a new page. Copper is available and nickel is also available. Okay, copper is available and nickel is available. Between them, we know this is 1145 degrees Celsius and this is around 950 degrees Celsius, the melting points. You talk about copper, cupro-nickel alloy. Which of the element will cool first? It is nickel, right? Once it crosses the point, automatically it has to be nickel, correct? This is how it will be. Please make a note, guys. Please make a note of it. So basically, we have to be clear with that concepts. Just note down. Here is all the inks. So here solid 1 formation will start and here it will be liquid. Solid 1 formation will be started and here it will be liquid. Further you go here, it will be S1 plus S2, but not completely done. It will solidify here as S, which means they will get into a different phase. They will mix up in each other. That is the meaning. And coming to the third point, you have to understand this is a liquid which gives L1 plus L2. Two elements will be there, binary, but eutectic system, which means they are insoluble in the solid state is the meaning. Insoluble. Okay, insoluble in the solid state is the actual meaning. Please make a note. Now, here what happens is L1 plus L2 plus S2 starts to come out, which means I am considering this to be the higher melting point and this is the lower. This is L1. Okay, further you go down, it will be L1 plus S1 plus S2 and then it will become S1 plus S2. Okay, S1 plus S2. So what I have to say, they are insoluble in each other. So, but our primary focus is over the pure metal for our discussion. We are going to only focus on this. Please make a note. This is our point of discussion. Okay guys, just make a note of it. So let's move on to the next. So we know what is meant by latent heat of fusion, right? So before we proceed, let me write the latent heat of fusion also one more time for our clarity. Basic things we should be understanding. My teaching methodology is always make the students get the basics done, then I'll proceed to the next level. So only with the interaction I think I can proceed better. So I'll keep on informing it here. So latent heat of fusion or latent heat is what it's all about. I should just erase this. Amount of heat absorbed or liberated by the body during the phase change. Phase change of the substance, right? So if it is a liquid becoming a solid, we call it as the latent heat of fusion. If it is the solid becoming liquid, here we call it as latent heat of vaporization, right? Latent heat of vaporization. So also we need to understand about the specific heat here. Yes, we are going to derive an equation, sir. That is the interesting part. How one should be, bring up the Chauvinot's rule. For that, all these hard works are being put up. I'll be coming up with more practice sessions only after completing the theory parts. So please make a note of it, guys. Okay, short course. I will be taking up short sessions to indulge you into the classes. Please have a good note of it. So what is meant by specific heat? The amount of heat per unit mass required, the amount of heat that is required by a unit mass of a substance to increase its temperature by 1 degree Celsius. Right, like this amount of, sir, we are engineers, sir. We can have our own definition, but the only point here is you should be clear with the words, keywords. That's all. Very simple. Okay. The amount of heat required per unit mass of a substance to increase its temperature by 1 degree Celsius. 1 degree Celsius. So what is the requirement, sir? Why should we bring it up? It is very important. Okay, it is very important. So the unit here is, we can easily write joules per kilogram degree Celsius or Kelvin, whatever that is. So amount of heat that is required per unit mass of the increase its temperature by 1 degree Celsius. Correct. So we know that Q is the amount of heat which is equal to M into C into delta T. We know this is the mass, this is the specific heat, and this is the temperature difference. Okay. Now you know what is C. Correct. C is equal to Q by M into delta T. That's all. So can you get the idea now? This is the basics. Sir, are these important for our casting concepts? Definitely yes. Okay, we can also call it as heat absorbing capacity. Heat absorbing capacity. So we are into the main page now. So we will be completing the derivation by today, guys. Tomorrow we will be continuing with some practice sessions also or we may get into riser design. Yeah, it should be riser design tomorrow. So practice sessions will be happening, but with reference to this, it is going to happen. Kindly make a note. So just have a good look into it. So let us consider this to be, what is actually solidification part? If you want to know solidification and cooling, the amount of time, the time taken for the molten metal to completely cool down, the simplest of the definition, right? The time that is required, we are talking about, right? For solidification, the time taken between the molten metal poured to solidification, molten metal. This is what we call it as a solidification time. So what is actually solidification? When solidification can happen is, or how solidification will take place is, the amount of heat liberated by the molten metal, look at this, the amount of heat liberated by the molten metal should be equally transferred, or conducted away by the mold, right? The amount of the amount of heat conducted away by the mold. Please make a note. So we can draw a setup to understand things better. So this is your molten metal cavity, where the molten metal inside the cavity is available, right? Molten metal inside the cavity. When it liberates the heat, the molten metal which is in the cavity is actually surrounded by sand, right? Sand that should be conducting away the heat. That is the role, no? Only then the heat is completely transferred, so the molten metal can become cool. Correct? Only then the molten metal can be cooled. So to understand this, let us bring the concept of HMT now. So we are bringing both the cooling curve, also this point into picture. So what is that rate of heat? Sir, I am trying to give the derivation, rate of heat flow. Why is a derivation? Even the derivation, the lengthier one, if you understand, instead of just k into v by a the whole square, there are a lot of intricate parameters which plays a key role in the understanding of the solidification and cooling. So make a note of it. So the rate of heat flow through the mold at any time, that is represented as t, at any time t, is given as Q is equal to K minus of, because it's getting liberated, no, minus of K into A into delta T by X. We know what is K, thermal conductivity. Okay, what is A, area. What is delta T, the change in temperature. And also X, the thickness. X, the thickness of the material. This session is completely, this particular session with of my YouTube classes is exclusively for a beginner. But my upcoming classes on the practice session is for everyone. Sir, I have almost 200 plus questions, sir. Yeah, close to 200 questions in metal casting itself, sir. Okay, please make a note. I just want to get into the link here. Okay, so this is the part. So we know this derivation, equation now. What we are going to do is bring up an error function expression for this. Okay, an error function. I'm not deliberating more on that. Error function. According to the error function, your Q can be written as minus K into A into delta T instead of this thickness, because it is related only with the component in your heat and mass transfer subjects when we talk, but here it is including your conductivity, right? It is all about the mold phase and also the molten metal both coming into picture. So we bring this relationship here. It is divided by root into pi into alpha into t. This is the time now error function. So what is this alpha, sir? K by rho c. You can call it as rho c. Alpha loves rho c. So alpha we know it is the thermal diffusivity. For that derivation only we have this alpha here, thermal diffusivity. K is your thermal conductivity. And rho is your density of the molten metal. And C is your specific heat. Okay. So it alpha, what is the use of alpha here? Anybody? What is the use of alpha? What it helps to measure the rate at which the heat is transferred from the hot end to cold end. It measures the rate at which the heat is transferred from the hot to cold end. Okay, measures the rate at which the heat is transferred from the hot end to cold end. Please make a note of it. So this expression we have bought. Now the next important page here is what would be the total time. So according to this error function expression, we are going to further proceed. Please make a note. So total time taken for the heat to be transferred would be from 0 to T naught. Okay, so now your Q can become integral of 0 to T Q of dt. Okay, this is at T naught. What will be the answer? Okay, the conducted. So it will be expressed as 2 into K into A into delta T into root over T naught. After expressing all these things, you will get it as root over pi into alpha. This is one of the equation. This is being conducted away. Okay. Now the next is amount of heat rejected by the molten metal. What would be the amount of heat that would be rejected by the molten metal here? It will be Q rejected. This is conducted. It is equal to M into latent heat plus specific heat. That's why I discussed this point. So we know that it is M can be written as rho into V. Mass is equal to density into volume. Into latent heat plus C into delta T. Right? This is our second equation. We know rho is the density of the molten metal and V is the volume of the molten metal. L is the latent heat and C is the specific heat. Okay. we know in the previous page itself, this is our second equation, this is our first equation. So according to this expression, if you bring in 2 is equal to 1, okay, the time taken we have understood, okay, then we have to bring the equations 2k into a into delta t into root over t naught divided by root of pi alpha, which is equated with rho into v into latent heat plus specific heat to delta t, right? Now I keep the root over t naught because our objective is to find the solidification time, and this is the total time taken that we know. So you can bring it as rho into v into L plus C into delta t into root pi alpha divided by 2 into k into a into delta t. Students, have a close look on these elements a, v and okay, one side, and also rho and k and alpha and c. If you multiply these things, for example, rho c by k is nothing but 1 by alpha, isn't it? Now for clarity, this is known to you, so I'm going to do one thing, squaring on both sides to give you better explanations. So you'll get T naught, which can be written as V square by A square alone, the encircled one, into rho square into, this could become just alpha, right? This could be written as the C square at one part of the situation plus L, right, into pi divided by 2 square into k square into delta t square. But if you look at these components, one thing is pretty much obvious, that your T naught solidification time is inversely proportional to 1 by alpha, which means the solidification time is indirectly proportional to the thermal diffusivity. This is an important inference. Okay, this is how the answer for a GATE question is being possible to do. Please note down this point. This was a question earlier asked in the competitive exams. Now I can consider all these elements, your raw materials property, specific heat of the material, latent heat of that molten metal only, thermal diffusivity, K, change in temperature, all depends on that particular material, molten metal, which is being poured. So now your T naught can be written as V square by A square into the capital K, or T naught is equal to V square by A square into C of M. Both the terms are informing us that the equation brings into picture the solidification time, which is framed using the Chauvinot's rule, that is T is equal to K into V by A the whole square. Is that clear now? So many such inferences have been taken by us. So understand this, where we can bring in the points to say, hope it is understandable to all of you. Your T is equal to K into V by A square, where K is your K or Cm is your mold constant, okay, and your V is your volume of the casting or cavity that we say here, and also A is your area of the casting. Or one big inferences is here, students, one big inference is here. So your solidification time is proportional to the volume, and solidification time is indirectly proportional to the area, which means If you have greater surface area, solidification will happen easily. This is the major point. Greater surface area, then solidification happens quickly. So for which kind of shapes it will be obvious. If you have a doubt, we will be discussing them also. Right, students? We will be discussing them as well. But there is an important shortcut. My name is Vivekanandan. But I will stop my name with these alphabets alone. You keep the Vivekanandans aside. So you can remember that there are two V's in my name. You can write V into V. This K you can draw and write K here. And these A into A. So maybe the rule might be derived by Chauvinot, but here the hint is being given by me here. So who taught you, solidification time and Chauvinot's rule? Vivekanandan. So you can easily remember the V square by A square into K for this reason. So such way I bring some crazy shortcuts for you to remember. That's what I call as the shortcuts for a top rank. If you want to become in that manner, yes, this is the best way to do it, guys. Okay, this is the best way to do. Please make a note. Okay, please make a note of it. So V square by A square into K. Sir, is it that easy to remember? Is it so tough for us to remember? Yes, definitely. In the examination, we will write T is equal to K into V by and everything will solve for V and A. We'll forget. We will never do the squaring also. So it is very important to remember my name in this aspect to connect it, guys. So your questions can be in lot ways. You can ask the questions. But we are not completed. I have to give you some more informations. Okay, some more informations are mandatory. And a lot of practice questions are also there. And to give you the highlight from the first page, whom the class is going to help a lot, right? To whom the class will be helping a lot, I am going to just show you up. Sir, two ways a student will be preparing, an aspirant will be preparing for a government exam. An aspirant will be of two kinds. Who will be only practicing the previous year questions because he has the basic knowledge already acquired, okay, through the subject that he or she has learned. But the second aspirant is someone who needs the basic knowledge first of all, then he or she has to proceed with the practicing of previous year questions. But someone who is starting new, here is the problem. Here is the problem. Whoever is starting new, here is the problem. If he or she starts looking at someone who is just into the previous year question discussion in the YouTube sessions, okay, the problem is not with the other person who is watching, but the new learner who looks at the person and says, hey, I will also go in the same manner like what he is doing. That's where the problem starts, because every concept will be a new one for him. Every question will trigger new concepts for him. Every question will trigger new concepts. When the person is not inclined towards these new concepts, frustration develops. Okay, frustration develops. Why? He is not inclined to learn because he is just new and he is looking at only the questions. Okay, higher order questions, when it comes in, you can't answer it. Okay, this is the major issue. Students, please understand. So every question triggers a new concept. Say I teach in Tamil, I teach in English, I can understand Hindi, but I will be conveying only in English. Sorry for that, I am trying to learn. Okay, but a student, if you are from any Anna University or any kind of affiliated colleges in across country, understand that you are only given the basic concepts, that too the very minimal. In metal casting, I would say in the college days it will be just 9 hours. But here I used to teach 40 to 30 plus hours with the practice sessions, numerical subjects. So when you are a beginner, you need the basic knowledge with the practice, that combinedly will takes place when you learn from the scratch. So don't go with someone who is already into the practice session and you think that is the right option for you. No, that's completely wrong. That is what I am trying to highlight here to all you people. Okay, so this you please understand. Okay, this is the problem. That frustration develops automatically. This person will conclude that the aspirant who is of second category, who needs the basic knowledge, exams are tough to clear. That's what they say. But if you learn the concepts clearly, completely, and in the smarter way, no one is going to stop you, my dear people. No one is going to stop you. Okay, this is the important idea I have to present with you. Please make a good note. So students, I just want to give you the formulas. You instead of derivations, which I usually do, just note down the formulas. Okay, just note down the formulas here. Cylinder and sphere. So the surface area, what it should be, what should be the volume, and immediately I have to write here. So I will just erase this space. Too much space. Surface area, volume, and V by A, what it should be, the mold we are talking about. V by A is called as the mold, the modulus, sorry, the modulus. So I'll just write that we know that 2 into LB plus BH plus HL, right? You get here L into B into H. So I'm just copying it down. LBH divided by 2 into LB plus BH plus HL. Only from these four shapes you can expect a question. So just note down. Cube it will be what? All the sides will be equal. So it will be 6A square, and here A cube. When you divide A by 6A square, you will get A by 6 as the term. So it is easy for you to divide also. A by 6 the whole square, you have to write it down. And when it comes to cylinder, you have to write it as pi dh plus pi by 2 d square, or you can write 2 pi r into r plus h also. And here you can write pi by 4 d square h, the formula, or you may write pi r square h. If you have any doubts, you can post a message. I will clarify it in the next session also. Share your comments like how one has to remember this formula. If you need a clarity, I can tell you. This cylinder is just like your dosa that we prepare in our home. This is nothing but a circle pi r square. When you stack the dosa for a particular height, it becomes a cylinder h. That's how the volume you get as pi r square h. Okay. So similarly, this smaller one is 2 pi r, no, 1 pi r square, 1 pi r square. Both the sides. That is your outer side, the surface areas, the top and bottom, plus the curved surface area will become 2 pi rh, like pi dh, correct? This is pi dh. So that's how you get 2 pi r plus this, or 2 pi r square plus 2 pi rh. Okay, when you divide it, you get a different term. Okay, like pi by 4 d square h divided by pi dh plus pi by 2 d square, or you may write this also. But there is one condition, my dear students. If d is equal to h, then your equation will become, in that situation, as d by 6. So for this, I will give you an explanation with this reference. So pi by 4 d square into d divided by pi d into d plus pi by 2 d square, correct? This is what you get. So now pi gets cancels. You multiply with this 2 and you get 2 further down. This becomes d cube. So this is d square and d square. So this becomes 1, 2 plus 3. So 3 d square by 2, and this is d cube by 4. So cancel it out. You get d by 6. Okay, you d by 6. So either you use this formula or you use d by 6 as a formula when there is a condition d is equal to h is given. Okay, d is equal to h is given, and the last one is your sphere. So this is going to be 4 pi r square. Sir, one dosa, sir. Another dosa, sir. Third dosa, sir. And fourth dosa, sir. Just to tell you that 4 uh, circle will form that surface area of a sphere, like you cut it out. That's the meaning. And for this, it's known as 4 by 3 pi r cube. Correct? 4 by 3 pi r cube. If you divide it, you will get 4 by 3 pi r cube. 4 r square. You will get r by 3, or if you write it in terms of d, you will get d by 6. So can you understand a by 6, d by 6 and d by 6? I'll write d by 6 here. I don't know if it overlaps on my image. Okay, we will have some water. So students, this is important for for anybody when you are appearing for the competitive exams in the numerical aspect. This will ease out your preparation. So remember this formula. Remember this, but it's good to know these concepts first. In this cylinder and sphere. Yeah. So this is the point. I'm just looking at the chat box. So what I can conclude, a strong note to you that we are getting ready for the practice sessions. That will be our upcoming classes, but tomorrow it will be riser and gating design. So students, remember this. You have the iconic and plus subscriptions here, and most important inferences are to be done here. Friends, one-on-one live mentorship in the iconic, which I was telling now. If you have take a 6-month subscription, you'll get 12 sessions, similar to the 24 or 48 twice, which means one free 30-minute mentor introductory sessions, followed by you can schedule the time of your convenience for the upcoming mentorship sessions, and progress report will be available tracking the learner activity. So you can call the number to book the free sessions today. So you can use the code VivekGate20 to get the subscriptions in Unacademy and also for watching the special classes. Okay, I believe it was a useful session for you all. The days to come, we are going to have many more classes like this. And here, if you can't afford for it directly the whole amount, we can do one thing, 0% EMI. You can take the loans, you can avail the loans, and that too just through the phone call. In approval will be done in 2 hours in the minimal paperwork and flexible tenures. So you have to just install the Unacademy app and go to the subscription page with all the procedures, and there when you want the loan you can call the number and they will do all the procedure for you. It's a very easy one, and where you have to use the code VivekGate20. Inform them, they will give you that code for which there is a 10% discount also available, guys. Okay, so I have to conclude here and say thank you for listening to this session. Lot of more concepts are to be taught by me, which I will be doing it right away. So subscribe to this channel and click on the bell notification for quick updates, and you can like as well as share these notes with your fellow friends. So God bless you, take care. So our next class tomorrow is again at why it is not responding much. Okay, there are a lot of images. So tomorrow our session is at 7 p.m. The topic of discussion will be riser and gating design, and after that it will be numerical sessions to follow with. Okay, then casting defects also to be discussed. Friends, if you are watching this class for the first time, please follow my classes Vivekanandan in Unacademy. Okay, or you can go with the code Vivek 820 in the Unacademy, and you can follow my classes. I'm recently started with welding as a subject, so it's going to be fantastic because numericals are also available. So glad to have you all in the class. So don't forget to join tomorrow at 7 p.m. for the next class, metal casting part 5, the riser and gating design as the subject of discussion. Thank you, take care, God bless you, and Valga Valamudan. Let's meet in one other session. Thank you, boys and girls. My God, it's not happening.